My name is Jack Holt, and I am chairman of Holt Construction. Holt Construction is one of the country's leading builders, and we're especially recognized for our work in the aviation sector, with a large portfolio in the Northeast as well as across the country. I'm very proud of our team and how we integrate small businesses into our projects. We have been working at Newark and Liberty International Airport for over 30 years, and our offices at the airport are always open to you. Holt is very committed to diversity and including small and local businesses, especially MWBEs, local businesses, and veteran-owned businesses in our projects. Our work also supports local residents to help them build a career in construction. As many of you already know, this year we have launched the new program, Building Newark Airport Together. That features special sessions every Friday from noon to 1 p.m. These sessions provide you with an important information about contract and career opportunities and will open the gate to building your business and your career with us. New packages and bid opportunities are being released all the time. Today's session on upcoming bid packages will help you take a deeper dive into the specific packages that will be available at Terminal A, the scope of work required, the importance of best value and low bid, and what Holt is looking for in their subcontractors. Now it's my pleasure to welcome your program host, Alexandria Parati, Holt's Director of Corporate Initiatives and Strategic Planning. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you, Jack. I'm Alexandria Parati, and I'm so pleased to serve as your program host for our Opportunity Friday series. Opportunity Fridays are important sessions that will introduce you to what you need to know about working with Holt Construction, as well as the specific contract packages that are available for bidding on Newark's new Terminal A. We also want local residents to learn more about how they can work in the construction industries with Holt, as well as on our projects. As an organization, Holt Construction is truly committed to building Newark Airport together. Each of our Opportunity Friday sessions are devoted to specific topics and include an opportunity for live questions and answers. At the end of each information session, we will review direct contract opportunities that you may be interested in bidding once you have pre-qualified with us. So let's get started with today's session, upcoming bid packages, a deep dive on recently released EWR Terminal A projects. New packages and bid opportunities are being released. This session will take a deeper dive into the specific packages that will be available, the scope of work required, the importance of best value and low bid, what Holt is looking for in their subcontractors, and much, much more. Let me introduce our panels. Jason, would you like to start?
Sure. My name is Jason Leisure. I'm project executive and head of all New Jersey's Holt operations.
Brian?
Brian Folk. I'm project executive for New Jersey Aviation and special projects.
Alec?
Alec Ross, purchasing manager for Holt Construction.
And Pam?
Pamela Skidmore, project manager.
Great. Thank you all for joining us today. Let's start off by going through the current opportunities. Pam, would you like to start with project one?
Thank you. We'll start with project number one, which is a 60,000 square foot ground up construction and interior installation. Bids are expected to be released in the late Q1 2022. This 60,000 square foot project comprises of site logistics and site preparation, light excavation and foundation piles, erection of new construction 3-story concrete cased steel column building with CMU and metal and glazing shell with new MEPs and roofing. Project number one is new to the existing building integration and scheme. This project includes scaffolding and protection, cleaning labor, materials and equipment, fence construction, site work, civil and site prep, utility service, driven piles foundation, demolition, existing site, concrete foundations and structure, masonry for the exterior, masonry roof, masonry interior level 1 stair and elevator shaft, structural steel and deck, miscellaneous metals and ornamental steel, millwork package, roofing, insulated metal and concrete, roof guard and rail, wall panels and louvers, curtain wall system, cementitious fireproofing, doors exterior, doors, frames, and hardware for the interior, floodgates, fire curtain, windows and skylights, drywall, ceiling systems, tile and stone, flooring and base, terrazzo flooring, painting walls and ceilings, elevator glass, elevator service, escalators, sprinklers, plumbing, HVAC and sheet metal, electrical and fire alarm, substation equipment, garbage and debris removal, and soil export and truck hauling.
Brian, would you like to touch on project number 2?
Sure, thank you, Alex. Project number 2 at Newark Liberty International has an estimated schedule starting April 2022 through November 2022. It's a 40,000 square foot club and terminal fit out, consisting of Terminal B and operational support spaces. Commercial disconnects and demolition will be involved for relocation to the new Terminal A. Terminal A commercial food and beverage lounge build out is part of the club space. The scopes consist of existing conditions demolition, concrete, metal, wood, plastics, and composites, thermal and moisture protection, openings, windows and doors, drywall, ceiling systems, tile and stone, flooring, carpet, VCT and base, terrazzo flooring, painting, millwork package, specialty storefronts, branding and signage, conveying equipment, fire suppression, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and electrical safety and security.
Great. It sounds like there's a little bit of something for everybody for project 2, Brian, right?
Absolutely.
Project number 9 has an estimated schedule starting February 2022 through July of 2022. Bid packages are going to be going out first week of February. It's a 7,300 square foot airline lounge, consisting of packages of steel, carpentry, millwork, custom and casework, toilet partitions, flooring, carpet, tile and resilient flooring, signage and graphics, glass, plumbing, mechanical, electric, fire alarm, and sprinkler.
Project 10 is the airline CTI spaces, which is roughly 6,150 square feet. It entails arrival baggage service storage areas, flight operations, administration and management spaces, conference rooms, crew chief operations, tech ops, gate agent locker and support rooms, supervisor office, pantry, locker room, and credit union spaces. The trades that will be needed for this project is concrete and masonry, flood barriers, carpentry, millwork, casework, toilet partitions, flooring, signage, plumbing, mechanical, electrical, fire alarm, and sprinkler.
So let's start on that topic, and we'll kick off our questions from there. So Alex, sticking with you, what's our bid process look like for every project? Is our bid process the same? I know that you are head of purchasing, so you're the face after the subs go through estimating. You're the one that calls the subs and levels the bids and speaks with them. Is every bidding process the same for every project?
In general, yes, the bid process is the same for every project. There may be certain special exceptions if there's certain specifications that dictate certain proprietary items, but in general, the process is the same and pretty straightforward.
Jason Leisure, when you're looking at proposals from subs, are there any special things that you like to see within their proposal? Do you like to see certain exclusions? Do you like to see no exclusions? Do you like, labor rates, change order percentages? What do you look for when you're looking at a proposal from a sub? What are you looking for?
All of that, including their qualifying exactly what they're including in their scope. Specifically speaking to some details, they're showing that they're actually reading all the documents and they're detailing out what they're including in their bid. I want to see as much specifics as possible, letting me know that they are including all of the scope needed.
Now, Brian, when we're talking about the bidding process, A lot of our packages and parcels that we're offering right now, Holt is acting as a construction manager. So what that means for most people that are here who don't know is we are open book with our clients. So even if we're not CM, if we're GC, we are still open book with our clients. So when you get a change order or when you get something from a sub, you want it prepared in such a way that you can present it to your client, correct, Brian?
Absolutely, Alex. The quicker that we can turn it around, the quicker we can get those change orders approved and payment processed back to the trades. I know a lot of the new trades that are looking to come into these projects need that quick turnaround. So yes, the format and the presentation of the change order is absolutely important.
Great. Now, Pam, when the bidding process is going on, what's the communication like? Like if I know we use Building Connected as our bidding platform, but you're getting notifications from a computer. It's not really a person. So if you have a question, you put it through Building Connected. But again, sometimes as a sub, you really want that voice at the other side. How do you address that with subcontractors during bidding?
Well, I do recommend using Building Connected to submit any questions, but if it's an urgent issue, I suggest you reach out to our estimating team or whoever is in charge of that bid package and ask that question both on the phone or through email, and we'll pass it on to the architect to get a quick response.
And always, if there's any question on bidding and you don't know who that estimator is, because there are a lot of projects and you see there's a lot of project managers handling each project, you can always send an email to the EWRTA@holtcc.com email address, and you can ask us any of your questions there, and we can forward that over to the appropriate project manager and estimating team. One more question about asking questions during the bidding. What happens, Jason Leisure, if a sub misses the Q&A period that's laid out in Building Connected? Do we still accept questions at that time? I know that we like to get all the questions in because we do share with the other subcontractors so that we are comparing apples to apples. But what happens if somebody is at the very end and they come up with a question? Can they still ask that question? Do you welcome that?
I do. It depends on the nature of the question. Hopefully I can be able to answer it ourselves internally without having to go back out to the architect or the owner's rep to get the answer for them. But any questions that they have, we always welcome those. So it's going to establish a better understanding of the scope.
So we've already talked about bidding, right? So let's talk about awards. So that's Alex. So Alex, when you're looking to award to a sub, when you're leveling, what are you looking to do by leveling? Sometimes people are asking, what does leveling even mean?
Sure. Leveling is a process where we want to try and compare one sub's proposal to another and make sure all the subs proposals line up in terms of scope of what we need for the job to build the job. They have the right material as well as the equipment that's needed. And we just want to make sure everybody's apples to apple.
Great. Pam, so let's talk about some things that subs might have questions on, because we talked about the bidding process, we talked about the award. So let's talk about the contract process, right? When a sub gets a contract from Holt, there are certain things that are included in that contract that might be different than any contract that they see, such as our milestones that we put in instead of a true construction schedule. So when we institute our milestones and a contractor has a question on those milestones, what should they do?
We'll reach out to the project manager and discuss the concerns. Like you said, we typically write our contracts not based on a project schedule, but on project milestones. There would be an initiating event rather than a firm date, and then a duration. That way, if we had a delay on the front end, it does not void any other contractor's contract. So reach out to the project manager, They're typically the ones that prepared your contract for you and put those milestones together based on scope and level discussions with purchasing. And they try to create a timeline that seems realistic based on the scope needed for the project.
Now, Brian, when you're looking at a proposal from a sub, and they include some alternates, maybe they include some alternates that you didn't ask for, but they're putting those alternates in there for a reason. Is that something that you welcome, or do you want them to call you first before putting any different types of alternates in there to avoid any confusion?
They can add the alternates, Alex, but at the same time, it wouldn't hurt to send an email out to the PM team or the estimating team just to clarify what they're adding in the alternate. You don't want to have questions where we got to go back and forth between estimating and purchasing to validate those allowances or qualifications.
Right, because Alec, when you're leveling subs and you see some alternates that they're including as an alternate, but you have another contractor that's including it in their bid, it does set up some red flags for you, right?
Yes, absolutely. We want to try and keep the scope and what's required as clean as possible that adheres to the plans and specs for the project. So if a sub's trying to substitute something and trying to create an alternate, we'd rather have that clarified up front, but we'd also rather have them specify what was actually detailed in the drawings and specifications.
Right, because we always want the subs to have all the information, and it feels like we have an entire estimating team to help them answer questions. We have an entire purchasing team, and then we have our entire operational team there to help you answer those questions, because we don't want any ambiguity in your bid. We want to make sure you have everything, because if you don't, it's not good for us as a contractor for you to not have full scope on a job, and then we have to argue it out later. So we try to make sure that everybody has the same scope so that you're being valued at the same level as everybody else. Jason, last question for you. We've got a lot of new subcontractors that have come through our outreach who are pre-qualifying with Holt. I know that as an operational person, it is very concerning to you when you get a new sub and you don't know that sub. I know that that is a very difficult hurdle. There's a trust issue that happens between us operationally. What do you suggest when a sub is, low bid, they're pre-qualified, and they're giving you their sales pitch? They haven't worked at Newark, or they haven't worked at this terminal, but maybe they worked at terminal B or C. Do you like them to give you their what they call their 5-minute pitch to you, so that you feel a little more comfortable with them and they're just not a sheet of paper?
Absolutely. I would love to see what they're going to provide to me for this service. And I also want to have some clear transparency in what they're going to provide me. Be honest with me. Tell me what your capabilities are. Tell me what you're going to give to me. Tell me what you're going to give to the project as well.
Right. And our superintendents are always there if they want a job walkthrough, or if they have a question about safety or logistics. Like our entire Holt team is there to help you, because one of our charges as a company is we want to pay our knowledge forward. We want to share our knowledge, because us being a strong contractor depends on our strong subcontractors, right? So let's get to the current opportunities for Newark's Terminal A. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us again today. Let's go through the current project opportunities at Newark's Terminal A. Project number 1. It's a 60,000 square foot ground up construction. Scheduled for bidding release, end of Q1 of 2022. Within this scope of work are the following trades: scaffolding and protection, cleaning labor, materials and equipment, fence construction, site work, civil and site prep, utility service, piles and foundations, demolition of existing conditions, concrete foundations and structure, structural steel and decking, roofing, full millwork high-end packages, as well as casework, roof guardrails, wall panels and louvers, curtain wall systems, fireproofing, exterior doors, interior doors, frames and hardware, floodgates, fire curtains, windows and skylights, drywall, ceiling systems, tile and stone, flooring and base, terrazzo flooring, painting and wall covering, elevators, glass elevators, escalators, service packages, sprinklers, plumbing, HVAC, electrical and fire alarm, substation equipment, debris removal, and soil exporting. That is all for project number 1, 60,000 square foot ground up construction scheduled for release to bid at the end of Q1, Q2. The next project is project number 2. Project number 2 is scheduled to be released the end of Q1 of 2022, but the early works packages are being released now. So please make sure your pre-qualifications are in and approved so you could be part of these 2 first large projects that are up and coming in the next 2 months. This project, project 2, is a 35,000 square foot club and terminal fit out. This project includes the following scopes of work: existing conditions and demolition, barricades, concrete work, metals, ornamental metals, thermal and moisture protection, windows and doors, drywall, ceiling systems, tile and stone, floorings, carpet, VCT and base, terrazzo flooring, painting, wall coverings, millwork packages and casework, specialty storefront and branded signage, conveying equipment, fire suppression, plumbing, HVAC, electric, and safety and security package. The next project is project number 5. It is currently bidding, so please make sure your pre-quals are in. This project is a bit smaller than projects 1 and 2. This project is a 2,400 square foot concession space inside of Terminal A. This is perfect if you want to get your foot in the door and do something with us in aviation. Within this scope of work are the following: metals, drywall metal framing, ceilings, barricades, tile and stone, flooring, carpet, VCT and base, painting, finishes, installation of owner supplied finishes, specialty storefront and branded signage, millwork, fire suppression, plumbing, HVAC, electric, and safety and security systems. Project number 9 is also out for bid currently. Project number 9 is a 7,000 square foot airline lounge. It is currently in bid for budgeting. It is a very good chance for you to get your foot in the door if you are involved with our estimating department on helping them put together budgets. So if you have any questions, we're going to put our emails in the chat if you want to be part of budgeting. Within this airline lounge are the following scopes of work. There is steel, carpentry, millwork, which includes custom and casework, toilet partitions, flooring, carpet tile and resilient, signage and graphics, food service equipment, glass, plumbing, mechanical, electric, fire alarm, and sprinkler systems. Project number 10, the last one I'm going to present to you today, is out for release now. It is a 6,000 square foot airline support spaces, which means it is under the terminal. Within the scope of work are the following trades: concrete, flood barriers, carpentry, millwork and casework, toilet partitions, flooring, carpet, tile, and resilient flooring, signage and graphics, plumbing, mechanical, electrical, fire alarm, and sprinkler. Keep checking the Holt Opportunity Fridays website. We'll have our consultant put that in the chat for you so you have it. And all of those opportunities that are up and coming, or the ones that are there and ready for bidding now, are all there with their bid dates. It also shows our closed opportunities, but it also shows our coming up and coming opportunities. It also has the links for all of our previous sessions. So if you missed one of our sessions on safety or insurance, or if you want to go back and see a session that you already joined, they all are there for your viewing pleasure whenever you have the time. And now let me reintroduce my panel. I'm going to bring back Alec Ross, Holt Construction's Director of Purchasing, Pamela Skidmore, our Project Manager for Newark, Jason Leisure, our Project Executive for New Jersey, and Brian Foch, one of our Project Executives for Aviation. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Alex.
Alex.
Quick first question. What does the bidding process look like for Holt? So Alec, would you like to start? What is the bidding process look like for Holt when it goes in, when you send your bid to estimating? What can they expect?
Sure. The bid process is we have our bid documents that we want to send to the subcontractors, and hopefully we have a complete bid that is very well defined. And the process is we give them certain dates and durations for them to turn around those bids. We take them in, we note their prices, and then we start the leveling process, and we reach out to the subs to go over their quotes. And hopefully once it's all leveled, we can have a discussion about negotiating final numbers with them.
Great. Now, Jason Leisure, there's been a lot of talk about scope and leveling sheets. And I know Pam loves scope and leveling sheets. Alec does. I mean, company-wide, it is an industry standard for scope and level sheets. So it's nothing new, but what do scope and leveling sheets do, Jason Leisure? If you could just demystify it a little bit.
It's simple. I mean, it really all it's doing is giving us a clear understanding that you have reviewed all the documents and you have all the scope included. Also allows us to have specific items that we want to make sure that you're including in that project or part of your scope and your pricing as well. So if there's something that may be vague in terms of whose responsibility it is, we can say, make sure that you're looking at this piece. And then there's values to them each, right? So when we go through the leveling process, we're going to make sure that from one trade subcontractor to another, we could say, all right, well, this one has this value and this one has another value. So we can see the comparison between the two.
So I can see it sometimes, you know, a sub does all of the work and they submit their proposal and they think they're done and they think they're clear. And then, you know, someone from our estimating group or our project management group or our purchasing department asks them certain questions. You know, a sub could see that as being, you know, I already did all this work. You know, why are you asking me these questions? Why are you bothering me? You know, I gave you my number, please leave me alone. You know, I can understand how that could be kind of cumbersome, but, you know, we shouldn't act like that's just for one sub. We do it to everybody. And the reason why we do it is because we want to make sure that when my project managers write a subcontract to you, you are able to abide by that subcontract, because the terms in the Holt subcontract, you're bound by them. And we write them so that you have all of the scope. And we want to make sure you really do have all of the scope, because if in your proposal, you say you don't have this, you don't have that, I don't write my contracts based on your proposals. I write them based on the information that is gathered after the bidding process to confirm that you have everything. So we just want to make sure that, as well as we want to protect ourselves, we want to protect you, because I wouldn't want to say to you, oh, well, you didn't include 500 square foot of pipe on this drawing, you know, at the end of the day, and then you would have to do that scope because it's in your contract. So when we do the scope and level, we really do that not to be an annoyance to you. We do that to protect you and to protect us and really to protect our client, to make sure that we as the construction manager or the general contractor, however Holt is operating, we are doing our due diligence for our owner, because we also don't want to submit a change order to our client later for something that we should have known or you should have had. So we just want to make sure that we're giving our clients the best value. Next question. Pam, this is really an estimating question, but I think you could help with this one. If I need help with my bid, is there someone at Holt who can assist me? So if someone submits a bid, we know that we have a lot of estimators, we have a lot of purchasing agents, we have a lot of project managers. So, and there's a lot of projects out on the street. How do you suggest, if they have a bidding question, what's the best way to get a hold of one of us so that we can filter it to the right person?
If you send an email to our ewrta@holtcc.com email, we will distribute it to the appropriate estimator or someone who can assist you with your question.
Great. Brian, you know, this is a common question that we get, and we know that our estimators are always very, very busy. If someone submits a bid, how long do you think they should wait until contacting the estimator or even contacting their project manager for Holt, their counterpart, and asking how their bid is? And do you suggest that they, you know, knock on the door, send an email and say, hey, how's my bid? What do I look like?
So many of our bid and most of them, Alex, are uploaded or are done. The packages are done through Building Connected. And that tracks all the progress of the questions, the responses of each party that's bidding the job. And actually it allows for the estimator to do a much easier and quicker level bidding. But they can also reach out to us, not just estimating, but the project management team is also in Building Connected. They can ask any of the questions in there, and then those responses are also tracked.
And then Alec, for you, because you're the one that buys out all the subs at the end of the day. What do you think if someone submits a bid and they haven't heard from estimating or they haven't heard from purchasing? Should they reach out? Should they, you know, I always feel like the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So what's your suggestion?
No, absolutely. Definitely reach out. And if you can't get the estimator, you know, like Pam was saying, you could reach out to that contact info. And if it's in a certain phase, like purchasing, definitely reach out to me and I'll try and respond as best as possible.
Yep. And Alec is included in that ewrta@holtcc.com email address. So make sure you send all of your questions, whether it's estimating or purchasing or operations. Just send an email there with your questions and we'll filter it to the appropriate person quickly. Next question. Jason Leisure, should I prepare a PowerPoint presentation to go with my bid submission? So do you suggest, yeah, so if somebody wants to introduce themselves as a subcontractor to you as the project executive handling all of New Jersey, would you suggest, you know, maybe they schedule a meeting with you and the team one-on-one before they submit or after they submit? Just come on and visit us at the office, schedule an appointment. What do you suggest for that? Because I know as a new sub, you know, you want to get that face-to-face so you know who you're dealing with. That's always a good thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, first and foremost, a capability statement. Let me know what you guys are capable of doing. But having that conversation with me and making me feel comfortable is paramount to everything else. I mean, I'm not going to want a new subcontractor on site that I don't feel that you have the ability to perform in the, it's the environment that we have at the airports. It's always fast paced. If you don't have that comfortability, I'm not going to have that comfortability. Other projects we have in other areas where we have a pace maybe a little bit different, maybe more suited for that. Giving me your capabilities, giving me as much information as possible about what your staff is like, what type of projects you've already performed, and what environment that project was performed. Giving me that information is going to make me more comfortable. And the sooner you do it, the better.
Great. So you don't think, I mean, you don't need a PowerPoint to come and sit with you. I mean, we're located in the same place that we've been, right on Frelinghuysen. We've been there for almost 30 years. We're still in the same complex we've always been in. So you just send us an email over the EWRTA@holtcc.com, and you want to schedule to meet with us. You want to sit down. Even if you submitted a bid and you are unsuccessful, if you want to sit down with us and we can go through your bid. I'm not going to show you the other bids, but I'm going to show you yours. And maybe by sitting with us, we could show you what you could do to make yourself better for the next time. You know, maybe you included some scope that you really didn't need in the airports, and we can give you and pass that knowledge that, you know, you don't need to include that. This is an airport environment. Or maybe your bid was too low as an electrician and you don't realize that all of your piping needs to be in like everything has to be in conduit. There are certain rules and regs that you need to know at the airport. So we are willing to share that knowledge with you. So just reach out to us and we will sit down with you, because Holt Construction, we are only as strong as our subcontractor base, and we want to work with all of you. Next question. Oh, this is a good one. If I'm just starting out, are there smaller packages available for me to bid on to get my feet wet with working with Holt? So Jason, you want to take that one? Smaller projects. I know Project 5 is a small project, and it would be a great one for people to start. 1 and 2 are quite large. 1 is very large, but I think Project 5, right?
Absolutely. It's all a matter of what you are capable of performing, the specific scope really, but there are a lot of smaller packages that can get you in, and that would develop that comfortability that I will have for going on projects going forward too. So if you're, say you're an electrician and the scope of work is really only about a $25,000 piece, and that's usually much smaller than you're used to working in, at least getting in, doing this work, being very successful with it allows us to have that comfortability, knowing that you can handle any size project and we can start building up from there and going on to the next size. Now, that's not to say that your capability, once you send it to me, you have a much larger capability and you could expand even further, but there's definitely those opportunities available right now.
Okay. So what I always like to say, and everybody knows this, and everybody joining us knows this from the opportunities that I released to you, you see that there's an opportunity for a 60,000 square foot ground up construction, but there's also one for a 2,000 square foot concession space. So Holt Construction's business model is that there's no job that's too big and no job that's too small. We go where our clients need us. So if I'm bidding something and a client asks me and he said, oh, it's, you know, a $10,000 project, I'm going to do that project. So I'm never going to say no to my clients. So maybe you're going to be looking at a project that's smaller, that maybe you don't really want to do. You want to do a bigger project, but that's how you get your foot in the door with us. That's how we get our foot in the door with our clients. That's a really great business model. We start building that trust with our clients by doing those small projects, and we don't say no. So I could still be doing a $10,000 bathroom or corridor in Manhattan for a client, when on the other side I'm doing a $375 million project for them somewhere else. But I'm still there for my clients whenever they need, for whatever projects they're needed. So make sure you just look at the size, and if it is too small for you, maybe that's how you get your foot in the door. Next question. What is the purpose of the master service agreement? So I can answer that. So our master service, so when you do your pre-qualification with us, we ask you to sign the master services agreement. What that is we call it an MSA. What that is it's everything that's included in our contract. And it allows us, once you sign that, when we write you a specific project subcontractor agreement, it is much shorter than that MSA. So it only includes in the project specific contract anything specific to that project, because you've already signed on to the larger terms that Holt has as a company. We like doing that because I don't want to send you a 75-page contract for $100 subcontract. You don't want that either. You don't want a giant subcontract for $100 project. So just by signing that MSA, it makes it a lot easier for you, for us, and you just get a short form contract when you are awarded a project. The next question, how can I learn about bid packages for other projects other than Terminal A? So right now, so if we're talking specifically for Holt Construction, you can send us an email because we have other projects that are not in Terminal A. They're in the other terminals. We have a lot of healthcare in New Jersey. We have a lot of projects in Manhattan. We have projects in Philadelphia, in Boston. So once you fill out your pre-qualification package, there are check marks on there where you could check where you want to work. And then once that happens and you are approved, you will get bid packages from us. If there's any delay in your submission for your pre-qual, just send us an email at ewrta@holtcc.com. We'll make sure that we check on the status. You might be missing something and you may have gotten a robo email from our pre-qual saying you're missing something and it might have gone into your spam or your trash folder. So it's okay. Just contact us. If it's over 5 days since you hit that submit button, just let us know, you're looking for the status and we'll be happy to help. And if you are rejected for a pre-qual, if you get a rejection, we will sit with you and discuss the rejection and we'll tell you how to make your rejection better for the next time you submit. You might be just as much as a 6-month ballot sheet. We all know everyone did bad in COVID. We all know everyone was shut down. The construction industry took a hit. We all know those were bad years. So we will sit with you and discuss that. So just make sure, you don't just quit. Don't quit on me. I won't quit on you. So just make sure you send us an email and ask us the question. Next question. Will there be Ledger? This is going to be for you. Will there be any opportunities to do BIM coordination for the project? Does the project have any BIM requirements? It's probably going to be for you and Brian. Ledger.
There are some. The larger projects and some of the airline projects have some component of BIM to it. For us, on our end, I prefer BIM for coordination of trades, but some of it is also owner driven for a lot of that information as well. So I know Brian has a bigger component for BIM on his larger scale project.
Great.
And I can say, yeah, Alex, the one-on-ones, the best for the professional services, meaning the BIMs and documentation, labor services, scheduling, any professional services like that. The best way to get to us to go through the scopes that are available is to set up the one-on-one calls. I've participated in at least 10 this past week alone, and I know there's even more going on. Those are the quickest way to get the information and see where we can fit you in or refer you to one of our clients.
Great. Next question. Are there any opportunities for program management and construction management work, including project controls, quality assurance, compliance monitoring, document control, construction inspection? So there are opportunities on the large project that is scheduled to be released in the end of Q1. That is the only opportunity where this would be, but not for construction management. That's us. But there are opportunities there for document control, third-party inspections, so all of that. So I'm not going to tell you to pre-qualify with us. I'm going to tell you to shoot us an email with your capability statement on it, and we will share that with our client for that project so that you're available for that opportunity. Next question. Do we need to have New York, New Jersey MBE certification to qualify? No, you don't. So you do not have to be a Port Authority approved minority or women-owned business to pre-qualify, to qualify to work on these projects. The difference is if we are going to, you do have to be certified with the Port Authority as a minority or women-owned subcontractor to be able to claim you as such. But if you're not, that does not by any means exclude you from bidding any of these projects or even being awarded any of these projects. Same thing with small disadvantaged businesses, veteran-owned businesses, all of that. We're looking for all of you. So make sure you all bid. We have lots of questions today. It's a sunny day. Last week it was raining and today it's sunny. Everybody's showing me love for Valentine's Day. Thank you. Next question. When are bid packages being released for projects 1 and 2? So those, I will answer that one. Projects 1 and 2 will be released at the end of Q1. So make sure you get your pre-quals in. But Brian, the early works packages and support spaces are on the street currently for package 2, for project 2.
Mhm.
Okay. So we like to continue with the same contractor if we can. If you do the early works, we like to continue with you on that project to make sure we have construction continuity. So I do suggest that you bid these smaller parcels of project 2, because that's going to get you in to the big project of project 2. So project 2 is released in 3 parcels. It's the enabling work, it'll be the support spaces, and third is the club. So make sure you guys are aware and you're pre-qualified and it's approved and you're ready to bid those jobs. Next question. If a company is certified as an Sdvob with New York State, does it still have to get certified with the Port Authority, or is the certification process simpler using its existing credentials? So I cannot speak to the Port Authority's process, but I do know that you do need Port Authority certification if you want to claim that classification. A Port Authority entities are totally separate from the state. They have a totally different approval process and a totally different certification process. You can give me your email if you want to shoot us an email at ewrta@holtcc.com. I can get your information over to the Port Authority where they can answer your question regarding their certification process. Next question. Are there MWBE's opportunities for remote project management and or engineering service? So Pam, this one, would you like to answer this one, what we do with engineering services?
Typically, that wouldn't fall under our purview, but if you send an email to ewrta@holtcc.com, including your capability statement, we would keep it on file and forward it to our clients for future work.
Great. Next question. Will this project program be under OSIP or CSIP 100%? So the caveat that we have here today is there are multiple different clients that we are offering bidding opportunities to you for. None of these current projects fall under an OSIP or a CSIP. But if something changes on one of the later projects, we will definitely let you know. Next question. Jason Leisure. We have been approved as a Holt vendor. We do concrete and asphalt, milling and paving, as well as utility work. How can we bid on these specific scopes? So if someone is pre-qualified, they're ready, they're good to go, they're approved, how do they bid on specific scopes? How does that happen? Our estimators pull them into an estimate, and then what?
So what they'll do is they'll get sent an invite through Building Connected for each one of those projects. Within that invite will be all the files and the bid instructions and the deadline, of course, for them to submit a bid, as well as a leveling sheet or a scope sheet, so they can go through that as well as they're putting the pricing together, and then they'll submit their pricing through Building Connected, and we go from there. We'll scope and level you, as well as Alec will do the exact same thing, and hopefully you're successful and you'll be on one of these projects.
Great.
Pretty simple process.
Alec, this question is for you, and I know you've recently done this, which I gave you big kudos for. Do you require subs to meet diversity or small business goals? So when we have subs that are, maybe they're local, maybe they're MBE, maybe they're WBE, maybe they're nothing, maybe they're whatever, do you encourage that? Do you encourage the partnering?
Absolutely. We try to encourage all our subs to try and reach out to each other, connect, and try to come together to approach the job. I mean, we want to diversify our subs, and some of the best ways is by partnering with one another.
Great. The next question, are there opportunities for professional service subs? So there might be, but that's outside of what Holt does. So again, we ask you, just send us an email with your capability statement to ewrta@holtcc.com. That will be in the chat for you. Just send us over your capability statement. We will forward it over to our clients. Next question. Will data and low voltage electric be unbundled from the electrical scope? So I will help with that one. So normally we do not. So we do not unbundle that. It depends on the size of the project. But in the spring, we will have virtual sessions with our electricians so that if you are just a low voltage, or you're just security, or you're a smaller firm, we're going to make those introductions for you to our larger electrical contractors so that they can use you. So we want to make sure that you're checking our website. Those opportunities are going to come up soon in the spring. So make sure. But as of right now, the projects that we have are not unbundled. But depending on how the larger project that I released to all of you today is sent out, that might be done. So just make sure you keep checking with us. Next question. Pam, this is going to be for you. Do we have to be invited to bid, or can we start bidding after our pre-qualifications are complete?
Well, once you're pre-qualified with Holt, you'll be automatically added to our bidders list for upcoming work. If you see that there's an opportunity out to bid, but you were not invited specifically, please send an email over to our EWRTA email. And what we'll do is we'll make sure you're added to that bidders list.
Great. Next question. I'm a photographer and a graphic artist. What opportunities do you have for construction progress documentation, and how would I submit my bid offer? So there are opportunities on the larger project when it is released for photography. We would ask you to just keep looking for that release date for that. We do a lot of our photography in-house. I see that you're also a graphic artist, so why don't you send us your capability statement so that I could see what all of the things that you do, and then I will be better equipped to direct you towards someone, because there are some art opportunities through our client. But yeah, send me your capability statement and I'll be better to direct you to where you got to go to get an opportunity. Next question. Are there opportunities for marketing besides branding or signage on any of these projects? We are a promotional project marketing company certified with the Port Authority and WBENC. This is our last question for today. So Holt does have our own marketing department. That doesn't say that we don't need marketing. But a lot of our clients are already branded and they have their own branding capability. So why don't you do the same as I said before? Send me over your capability statement and what you did. And if you have, some work that you've done that you could share, we'll take that and we'll send that over to our clients. And I think that is the last question. Yep, so that's the last question, guys. You guys did great answering all the questions. If I didn't answer a question that you had, or if you were a little shy and you didn't want to put it in the Q&A or the chat, just make sure you email us at ewrta@holtcc.com. And I thank you for all of you for joining us, and to our panelists. And I want to welcome all of you to join us same time next Friday at 12 o'clock. We have a great session on money. Everybody loves money. I'm wearing green. What do you need to mobilize and perform? We have a session with Cone Resnick. They're going to help you to create your balance sheet, how to make your balance sheet better, how to be a financially stable company. Cone Resnick will be here to answer all of your questions. So I thank you and I welcome all of you to join us. Please make sure you visit our website for our outreach at diversityagenda.com/EWRTA. All of our opportunities are there. All of our sessions are there. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great weekend. Thank you.